Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna give you guys a makeup tutorial of my everyday makeup routine, which is this makeup look right here. Usually this makeup takes me around 10-15 minutes to do. I don't wear any foundations, and I think in total I use 5 or 6 products, give or take. So if you guys do enjoy this makeup look and wanna know how I achieved it, continue watching the video. So I have already prepped my skin. By prep, I just usually put moisturizer on and nothing else. Moisturizer that I did use is the Roche Posay toleriane dermallergo. I'm butchering this name, but this is the one that I'm using and I love it so much. I have a very dry, sensitive skin, so I cannot do a lot to my skin. Usually whenever I put serums or hyaluronic acid or different stuff, I just break out immediately. For me, prep is something very simple and not a lot of products. So really, I just have to wash my face when I woke up and put this moisturizer, waited 15 minutes, and now we're here. I also have a very chapped skin, so I'm gonna put the Aquaphor lip balm. I love this product so much. It's so hydrating. I have heard though it's not really good for you in summertime because it can trap heat, but definitely recommend at least for winter. This is such a good product. Now that we have our lip moisturized, let me also put my hair up before we get started. Okay, much better. I have my hair up. I cannot focus. Usually I don't wear any foundation. The last time I wore foundation was a few years ago. Reason being is, again, foundations break me out and I really hate that thick foundation look. So the very first thing I do is my brows, and I'm going with the NYX Brow Glue. I love this so much. I have used many different brow glues. This is by far one of my favorite. I have quite a thick eyebrow and I don't fill it in. All I really do is go with this brow glue and just brush it in and set it in place. Just gonna grab a little product and put it all over. I just brush my brows with it and kind of shape it as I'm brushing. If I'm looking this way, by the way, it's because I'm seeing myself doing makeup. I know I should look at you, but it's just easier to look that way when I'm doing the actual makeup. And then same thing with the other side. I do find that the NYX Brow Glue, if you put a lot, it can just peel off. So I go very little. But as you can see, it's already like giving a little bit of shape without even filling my brows. So the next thing I usually do is my concealer. I have been obsessed with this Kosas Concealer. I think it's in the shade 02W. I love this concealer so much. It's very hydrating. It doesn't crease. It doesn't get patchy underneath your eye. If you have dry skin, this is a very, very good concealer. And I usually go with very little product. So I just even scrape my dofu applicator on the side so I don't have a lot of product. And then I go a little bit underneath the eye. I mostly apply it in the inner corner, and then I usually go with a brush. This is my concealer brush. It's from this brand called AOA Studio. I got this years ago when dollar makeups were a thing, and this brand AOA actually has very good makeup brushes. So I just go with my concealer brush and kind of brush it out. I grab the little mirror so I can see myself, because with this camera I cannot even see what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna brush out all the concealer. And then usually I go with my finger to blend it in, because when I brush it, I can still see the brush strokes. So I just go with my finger and just tap, so it kind of everything blends into the skin seamlessly. Make sure to go under the actual eye because that's the part that it's gonna crease. Perfect. And that's for the concealer. It looks very natural, but at least it gets rid of my dark eyes. Sometimes when I want that brighter look, I go with a lighter shade, but I think for winter time or nowadays, this does the job for me. The next step I usually do is bronzer and blush. For bronzer, I go with Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer. Now I know this is not a bronzer, but this is what I use instead of a bronzer for my everyday makeup, just because it's, as it says, it's a skin enhancer. It doesn't bronze up, whereas it just gives you a little bit of definition. And I think this is perfect for everyday makeup. I'm using the shade medium. Now, medium is definitely dark for my skin now since it's winter time and it's freezing cold in Toronto. But if I blend it in well, it doesn't even look that harsh. So I just grab a little bit with my brush. My brush is the Sephora 07 and I just go a little bit. I apply it. Now, I usually apply my product higher on my skin rather than low, just because I have a round face and I think this would kind of make it snatch, whereas I think some people would prefer down at the bottom, but for me here works the best. So we just dab it and I kind of go upwards with my bronzer and I drag it a little bit up here as well. Grab a little bit more product and we go on this side. And as you can see, it has added a little bit of definition, but it's not like a bronzer. I am obsessed with this so much. After that, I usually go with my blush. I tend to switch between two blushes. I have this Say blush in this shade Spicy, but I also sometimes tend to wear this Rare Beauty in Worth. I love them so much. They're very similar in shade, but I prefer this more for summertime where I want that sunburnt look. So if you guys like that sunburnt look where you're as if you were in an all-inclusive vacation for like a week, this Say blush is the one. Like it's the perfect sunburnt look. I love it so much for summertime. But for winter, I actually tend to go with the Rare Beauty blush. It's more of a pinky tone, and I think this looks better in winter just because it's also a lighter shade. So when I'm pale, this blends in better rather than that can be a little bit harsh. So today we're gonna go with the Rare Beauty blush. This product, I think anybody that owns it knows a little bit goes a long way. So you do not wanna apply a lot because it can actually look too much. I usually scrape off the excess product on the side and I dab a bit. I do 2 dabs on each side and just a tiny little dab on my nose. And then I go with a blush to blend it. I used to go with a beauty blender, like a wet beauty blender, but I started going down this rabbit hole of how wet beauty blender is not hygienic at all. So I just stopped using beauty blenders altogether. Now I'm just using brush, and I obviously wash my brushes every so often. This is the AOA high definition brush, and I just kind of go with this brush and blend it in. I dab my brush rather than like dragging it on my skin just because that doesn't feel right. We're gonna dab, and again, I put it at the top of the skin enhancer, just a little bit higher. We're gonna focus on the outer side of our face and just dab until the line is blended into the skin. And then we're gonna bring it up to the temple area, like so. And then my nose. That's it. And you guys can see just 2 dabs, what a great color payoff it actually gives. Depending on what I'm doing that day or how long I want my makeup to last. Sometimes if it's just a quick errand or anything as such that I'm in and out quickly, I don't go with powder blush, or I actually don't set my under eye. I leave cream products on. But today, since I'm actually going out for a very long time, I do want to set my product so it stays longer on my face. For my under eye, I set it with this Hourglass Veil setting powder. I love this so much, and I usually go with one of these sponges to set my under eye. I grab the tiniest amount of product just because too much product can look like you actually have makeup on. Like, I know we're putting makeup, we're not trying to fake it, but I don't want that cakey look. So I grab very little product. This could be even too much in my opinion. And I press it in my under eye. So I don't just drag it, I press it in so it actually melts into my skin. And I will also drag it on the side of my nose And then we grab a little bit more and go on the other eye. To set my blush, I go with just a powder blush. This one is from the same brand, AOA. It's in the shade Ravish. I don't even know if this brand is even a thing nowadays. So if you guys don't see it at the description, I'm just gonna link similar products. But I love this one so much, but just because these marble blushes are very good and it has a little bit of sheen. I don't know if you guys can see, so it kind of works as a highlighter at the same time for me. And again, I grab a little bit of product, just a little bit. It's daytime, we do not want a lot. And we just go over the same spots that we put that cream blush. Let's not forget the nose. And I usually go a little bit on my eyelids as well, so that it kind of acts as an eyeshadow, but it blends with the rest of the face really well. So we just add a little bit on our eyelids. Next step is mascara. I usually even don't put mascara. I usually just curl my lashes and I go out the door. But today, again, since I'm gonna be out till 10 p.m. and it's just morning time, I am gonna put mascara on. So let's curl our lashes first. We definitely need a mirror for this. The lash curler, I don't even know. I think it's from Shoppers. It's not the best eyelash curler, so I actually don't recommend this. I know Shiseido has a good eyelash curler if you guys are interested. Oh, my eyes get so watery every time. You guys can see a little bit of difference, but if you guys have a good eyelash curler, you would see even a bigger difference. I just pulse it so that it curls. Oh my God, it makes my eyes so watery. Look at that. That's crazy. I'm gonna curl this more so it becomes like that. Great, now that my lashes are curled, I'll go with a mascara. I usually go with a waterproof mascara so it doesn't smudge under my eye. I am gonna go with this L'Oreal Lash Paradise. Waterproof is great, but when you wanna take it off, it's a pain. I usually put it just on the tip of my lashes, not at the very bottom. So I just brush it out like that. And that's like, look at the difference. It's crazy. And I do the same with the other eye. The last step is my lips. I usually go with a lip liner. I tend to wear lip liner every day. I think it's the most staple product in my makeup routine. I don't even know what shade this is. I have had this for like, I think 5 years. It's from Rimmel London, but I'm not sure what shade it is. I usually just outline my lips with this, and it's the same shade as my lips, so it works really well. We're just gonna outline. Another reason that I put Aquaphor at the beginning is because when I outline, it actually goes very smooth and buttery. And I go a little bit on my lips too. Sometimes I leave it as that with just a lip liner, but most of the times I actually do wear a lipstick on top. I'm just gonna tap this so it blends in really well. For my lipstick, I go with this YSL. I don't know what shade this is, guys. I'll figure it out and I put it. It doesn't say at the bottom for some reason. It just says bunch of numbers. Maybe it's 201. But it's the YSL Loveshine. It's such a beautiful color. If I don't want to go with that, I go with the Kylie Skin Lip Butter. I also love this so much. But today we're gonna use the YSL. When I take the hair clips out, I can actually see myself a little bit better, but that's pretty much my makeup routine. It's very simple, it's easy. I want something that is quick, so when I'm in rush, I can just quickly put it on and leave the home. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.